Hey y'all, I'm Mayer Cunningham, the special education boss. If you've ever felt confused, overwhelmed, or just plain frustrated at the 504 IEP table, you are in the right place. Every week, I'm breaking down the rules, the rights, and the realities of special education so you can walk into meetings informed, empowered, and ready to make real change. And whether you're a parent, a teacher, an advocate, a school-based member, or somebody who's just trying to do right by a student, this podcast gives you straight talk, real answers, and tools that you can use immediately. I'm not here to play politics. I'm not here to play sides. I'm here to train people who sit at the table and teach you how to follow the law, ask the right questions, and protect the rights of students. So go ahead and hit subscribe, share this with a friend, and you know what? Meet me back here every single week. We're not just talking about change. We're making it. Because when you know better, you do better. And when we get it right for the child, we get it right for everybody. Hey guys, welcome. If we haven't met, I'm Mayer Cunningham, special education boss, training everyone that sits at the 504 IEP table to navigate and negotiate successful student outcomes. Cindy, can you tell them how you came to know about Special Education Academy?
Absolutely. So I came to know about the Special Education Academy in January of 2021. I had just resigned my position after teaching for 27 years and was part of the admin team and head of the MTSS in my school, and I would train teachers and all of the staff. I realized that I could not do what my kiddos in school needed me to do, along with a whole bunch of crying teachers, and so I left. When I got home, I thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I realized that my own county didn't even know what to do with my own son. I started to listen to TikTok, and boom, I saw the great KMC, Mayer Cunningham, special education boss. I didn't even know her name for the first month. I was just like, oh, she's the special education boss. And then I reached out to her and not only took her trainings, but said, would you please advocate for my kiddo? And that's how I became to know part of the Special Education Academy and all the wonderful things that were there. Oh, and it gets better every single day because you get more and more stuff.
Yeah, and I can't imagine Cindy working for somebody, partnering with somebody for 27 years, teaching at the regional level, the district level, and helping with state leadership. Cindy did that for MTSS. I can't imagine how mad I would have been if I found out from some stranger on the internet that I've been lied to. A lot of things don't bother me. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. And so I assumed when my child started special education in 1997, when I was 10 years old and still had a thyroid. Remember the thyroid, Cindy? Can we bring that back? I assumed everybody sitting there understood special education law. I assumed that the district cared about their teachers enough to train them. And here's what I know. The good part of special education is the bestesses. And the bad part of it is unbelievable. I couldn't even tell you what really has happened in the years of things that I've known about. Not very many bad people, but believe me, a bad egg ruins the whole bunch and sometimes the whole state. And so if I had seen me for the first time on the internet, knowing that I had a vocation and somebody was saying exactly opposite of what I'd been trained to do, I wouldn't like them either. But my job is not to make you like me. My job is to make you think. And then my job is to tell you where it is in the law, right? And I want you to take your gift of loving kiddos. You guys are like magical. I like children. I had 3 children. I like them like when they graduate, photo ops out. I didn't cry when I dropped my kids off at school. I did this. Yes. But you guys, teachers, you take other people's children for the whole day, every day. And so we want you to have the education. You don't need to be a Karen clone. You don't need to follow us, but we want to direct you to where the law, the legislation, the obligation is, because I believe that IDEA had the best intent to include individual disabilities with their non-disabled peers. And I believe that this book is going to bring clarity to a very complex, heavy paperwork requirement in a way that's going to give you guys the ability to roll out.
talking to me about Mikey, how many minutes did it take for you to realize that I had been duped and that he could do so much more?
The Bible says hope deferred makes the heart sick. And when I was going through this process, my son was born perfectly. Like, I'm sure he got a 9 on his APGAR. I don't know if that means he's on the honor roll. Everything was great. And he lost all of his abilities about 18 months. And that story is in the book. I was devastated. I don't even know if I have words for it. And the reason that I do this is because I never want to forget who I was. You are most powerfully positioned to serve the person that you once were. And I don't want to ever forget how awful it was, how isolating it was, how alone I felt trying to figure out this process with the guilt. I had so much guilt that my child had a disability, and I figured it was my fault. I thought that because every time you have a doctor's appointment, the doctor asks the mom, can you tell us what happened during your pregnancy? Can you tell us what, oh my God, nothing happened. Actually, a lot of nothing, because I was pregnant, right? They never asked the dad, what happened while your wife was pregnant, right? And so there's just this ongoing shame. And then other people are like, have you tried this? Have you tried that? I remember when I had my second child, and one of my friends came over and looking at my second perfect child, and my son was having a meltdown. And she said, if you let me take him for the weekend, I can stop that. She meant it. And she meant it. And probably if I'd never had a child with a disability, I would have been her. She meant that. And we have to build a bridge between bad information, ignorance, arrogance, ego, to teach people that kiddos with disabilities are just as amazing as kiddos without disabilities. But to do that, we have to write an EPIC IEP that gives them ability to be included where it's appropriate and all of those things. And so when I listen to Cindy on the phone, when I listen to all my clients on the phone, I'm listening to me, right? She didn't want to bother me. She hoped it wasn't too much trouble. And when clients call, they're like, could you look at my paperwork? And her paperwork was a train wreck. I've done this for 29 years. In March will be 29 years. Oh my gosh, good thing that I've been hydrated the last 2 years. And I have never, in 29 years, gotten paperwork that was good. I've gotten paperwork that had good parts. But the paperwork is more confusing than helpful. So if I was a teacher, I've never been a teacher, I'd be like this. I had a kiddo the other day that was orthopedic impairment, speech impairment, Rett syndrome, and deaf and hard of hearing. It had 34 pages of state standards in the present levels. What? It was 100 pages long. Teachers don't have time to read 100 pages. And the way it's written out in software is not helpful. It's not helpful. And we want you guys to have an EPIC IEP that's helpful. We want services to be helpful. You're giving a child a future and you're giving parents hope. It's everything. And I'm nobody special, but I've done this long enough that I have a way, a process that I'm going to teach you to be just as successful at the table so that our kids could win, right? Not so I can get more followers, not that you get amazing person of the year, because you probably are amazing person of the year. In fact, just make that in a Word document, print it out, that you were the amazing person of the year. But when I listen to parents and they've given up hope, it just ignites something in me. And I had to correct Cindy. She was like, he can't do that. I'm like, don't talk to me like that. Right? He can do whatever we ask him to do. And she was like, yeah. And so her and her sister, almost 60 years of educating, were probably, because I'm not soft. I've never been soft. I've heard of people that are soft. I don't know them. I'm clear, right? As Brene Brown says, to be clear is to be kind. And I think sometimes in schools, because we feel bad for parents or we feel bad for the kids, that we say things to just walk them along. And we need to equip children to be successful adults. And we need to equip parents to be parents of kids with disabilities. And so when she said, Mikey can't do that, I was like, said who? And she said, the school district. I said, we disagree. And so he's doing amazing things because he's amazing. Yeah. And so if you assume competency, and more importantly, if you assume capacity, kids have capacity. They have things that we could never measure, right? Allegedly, I was book smart. Allegedly, I got an F in conduct for talking too much. I don't know what they're talking about. Do you, Cindy? I've never waited my turn, stayed in my designated area, or waited to be called on. So when people write those bips, I find those amusing. We have to believe the next level for kiddos. We have to write an IEP that's epic, but that gives the student rigor. If there's no rigor, then we have glorified babysitting. I don't need glorified or babysitting. I don't need Mikey sorting 2 different shapes of paper clips. So when I seem offended, you would be accurate. You'd be accurate. I think that when I want to get this paperwork, and this kiddo the other day was talking, they asked her if she knew her first name. So what? One of her goals was her first name. I said, just because her body doesn't work physically does not mean she has a cognitive difference. And because she uses a VOCD, a voice output communication device, doesn't mean she has a cognitive difference. She just has a delay in the speed and rate and efficacy that she can communicate with you. The question is, can we wait to listen to their rate and assume competency? And that's what we have to do.
I am a paraprofessional and I have a 504 kiddo. Should I be asking for the 504 so I know what's on the paperwork?
Oh my gosh. So you mean you have a child in your class with a disability and the district didn't provide you the paperwork? That is shocking, said me never. So yes, everybody that provides the school, the student and educational product should have access to the incomplete document, the complete 504, the complete IEP. We hear from teachers all the time. I had a teacher one time, she was like, I'm the general ed teacher, but I have to get permission from the diagnostician to see it. I was like, you take a pool noodle down there and you bop her in the head. What? So one of the things I always tell parents is, you take the IEP, you take the 504 and give a copy to everybody that teaches your child. Because I do enough open records, I see what teachers get. They get a thing called, Cindy, did you get this? The teacher bundle. Did you get the teacher bundle?
Never.
Yeah, never. So we spent all of this time in all of these meetings to write an epic IEP and nobody saw it. That's what we would call in Texas, that's going to be a problem. That's a problem, ma'am. So make sure that the people serving your child have the opportunity to serve them and have the IEP or the 504.
Hey, up north, kids are coming down, and in South Georgia, they're not receiving their same services. Why is that?
Because you're in Georgia. Just kidding. Love Georgia, one of our amazing partners. And Georgia's tough. Georgia is tough. I don't know what happened in DeKalb County, or I don't know if y'all didn't get breakfast, but Georgia is tough. Any of you guys from Georgia? Woo! So when a student comes and has a transfer, whether it's from another district, another city, county, state, then that incoming district has to match services and as much as possible. And then if we need to do new evaluations, we do that, but we don't just stop it.
What is an example of an attendance goal for an IEP?
I have no idea why you would have an attendance goal. Attendance is not a goal, it's an expectation. We have goals for I had a goal for a kiddo the other day and it said he would finish his work. I said, so what's his baseline? And she said he doesn't. I wish I could turn it into a comedy set, but it's not funny when it's happening. I said, he has severe ADHD combined type. He doesn't pay attention. I said, no, let me help you. He has a neurological impairment that he wakes up with every day. And so he doesn't go, oh, it's Sunday, I cannot wait to not pay attention. So let's write a goal to teach him strategies, because most goals are just what the school wants, but we don't talk about what the intervention is. So when I'm writing an epic IEP goal, it's going to start out like this. After direct and explicit, say it with me, Cindy. Instruction. Most IEP goals have no obligation from the district because it just says, in 36 instructional weeks, Mikey will not play Miss Karen's videos in school. I don't think we should do that. So you need to make sure that the goal has a baseline somewhere in the present levels. Where do we think after 36 instructional weeks of specially designed instruction, he's going to get to. And in that, we're looking at two things, right? Rate of progress and expectancy. But yeah, so he'll just have a goal for attendance. No, attendance is an expectation. If it's not an expectation, you're going to be participating in the court system. But that wouldn't be an IEP goal. That's an expectation of the state education agency, the Department of Education, and your school district.
The district never did an OT evaluation for my kiddo, and the school is still denying to do the evaluation. What can I do?
Ask for a legal prior written notice that meets all 7 obligations. Cindy, have any of you guys, so there's a few of us on here because it's much better to spend Sunday afternoon here than watching football. How many of you guys have ever been trained on the 7 federal requirements of a prior written notice? Go ahead. Let's just see it. Let's see all the prior written notice valedictorians.
Prior to the Special Education Academy?
Yeah. So that's their legal obligation. If you're going to deny me something, this is what I always say. Should you choose to deny XYZ, please provide that denial in a prior written notice. Prior written notice. And so there are 7 legal requirements, not options, not suggestions, not if you feel like it. Somebody said just with you. And if they don't have that, you've not met your legal obligation. So all the open records that myself and my partners get from clients, the one piece they never have in their open records, their opening documents, are the prior written notice, which means the district did not meet their federal obligation.
Shocking.
Shocking all.
Parents want their child to attend Girl Scouts at their outplaced school. Who pays for transportation?
So Girl Scouts, not part of an individualized education program. So whoever would like to transport her would pay for that, but that's not part of an IEP.
Can the school offer other resources or interventions on top of my son's IEP?
Absolutely. We have great schools and great states that do that. So do you guys know what the number 1 state for special education is? Put in the comments if you know the number 1 state in special education. How would I find out what that is, Karen? So every year there is a letter. It's like a 300-page letter to Congress. Somebody said Texas. That is funny. New York, Texas, Pennsylvania. Texas is like the bottom, always at the bottom. MA, is that Massachusetts, Georgia? That's funny. Nope. Maine, no. Texas is in need of help. Michigan's in need of help. One of my friends has a website, a Facebook page called the Michigan Department of No Education. Illinois, New Jersey, Iowa, Vermont, Washington, New York, Ohio, Arkansas, Virginia. That's funny. Fairfax, Virginia, not California. Missouri, Utah, California, Florida, California, Minnesota, Maine, Mississippi, WY, I never know what these things are, Maryland, New Jersey, North Carolina. Oh, look at everybody getting involved. No, it starts with the letter A. Arizona, number 1 state for special education. I had a little girl that I served with dysautonomia. How many of you guys know what dysautonomia is? Dysautonomia is a cardiac condition, but it presents as seizures. And so she would have an episode and then she would lose 2 days back and 2 days forward. And when she moved to Arizona, the parents called me and they were like, they're offering to add more stuff. I'm very suspicious. That's because they came from Texas. And they even let her take her senior picture with her service dog without a fight, without a school board meeting. Arizona. Yeah. Yeah, the number 1 state. Oh, somebody said she thought I asked what the worst state was. Oh, the worst state, often Texas is, sometimes we're 50th, sometimes we're 49th, sometimes we're 47th, 48th. So every year there's a letter to the, I think it's 244th. It's the Congress. It's IDEA. It can pull it up. Cindy will pull it up for me. And it's about this big, and it will tell you in there how many, oh, Tanya's on here. Tanya, give us the name of that and text it to Cindy, please, so we know what it is. And it will say, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, for 3 years have needed intervention. So I think that when we talk about who's in charge at whatever level on the state or the federal level or the county level. I can tell you what, I've been doing this for 29 years. I haven't found anybody that's in charge of anybody in special education. Because if there was, I would have driven there. I wish there was somebody that I could call at the federal government and somebody gets in trouble. Yes, I have had experience with Norfolk, Virginia. Yeah. Virginia's beautiful. I was in an IEP meeting in Virginia. Serious question. And I said to this man, I said, are you the diagnostician? And he said, I am in this meeting. Oh, yeah. I know that you're in the meeting. I was just wondering if you're the diagnostician. He said, I am in the meeting. I said, so if I was a diagnostician, I would know. He goes, I've given you my answer. So I don't know if Virginia's on some like fault line, or I don't know if he was not attached to the universe, but he didn't know what he was. So, yes, I've been to West Virginia. I have a brand new client in West Virginia, and I have been giving them a little pop quiz. But yeah, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain. So,
good job.
Yeah.
Any advice for a first-year self-contained teacher? The paperwork is crazy.
Yeah. You know what? Focus on children. When you're doing your job, we know it at the table. There are people that are amazing and have never done good paperwork. When you're doing what's right for kids, we know. I'm sorry about the paperwork. When I'm doing an IEP meeting, which is shocking to some people that haven't met me before, I don't want teachers walking around with a clipboard. I want them teaching. It's the weirdest thing. And so one of the things that I do in an Epic IEP is I take out my Epic IEP scissors and we lean it out. Most IEPs are just a bunch of stuff shoved into a document that mean nothing. But if I was a brand new teacher in a self-contained class, first of all, thank you for serving kiddos with exceptionalities. And you probably didn't go to school to sit in meetings with advocates or goofy parents or overbearing admin. I hear that's part of the gig. Thank you for what you do.
How much of an IEP is a para allowed to see?
The whole thing. HO, the whole thing. Somebody said, what advice do you have for Washington State teachers? Oh, I don't. So, Washington State, which is beautiful. They have really intense meetings there, which was surprising to me. I don't know if that's because, did y'all film Twilight in Washington State? Is that where they filmed it, Cindy? You're young. But there is a school district that I go into in Washington State, and they bring this attorney, and he's a real attorney. Like, he went to college and he finished. He like has credentials. And I don't know how many steroids he's had, but he is a yeller. A lot of things going to happen to me in a meeting. You yelling at me, not going to be one of them. So finally, the school district stopped bringing him, and now we have lovely meetings. So.
Lovely meetings.
Lovely meetings. Who doesn't want a lovely meeting, Cindy? I like a lovely meeting. Thursday I had 6 meetings. I want them to all be lovely. Aren't they lovely, Cindy?
If it's on a Thursday, maybe.
Oh my gosh. We had a yeller Thursday at 9:35 in the morning. This is way too early to be yelling.
And she said that.
I did say that. I was like, I don't know who you're talking to, credentialed or not. So when somebody starts acting nasty in a meeting, that's how they treat their employees. That's how they treat the students. Good news, I'm never going to be one of your employees because I'm not a college dropout, but a graduate. But guess what? You're not going to yell at me in the meeting. Sounds like you need a break and maybe a snack. And then you know what she did, Cindy? She brought it on down. So you're usually yelling because you're covering up stuff I don't even know about. So take a breath, have a Pringle, and let's start again.
Maybe a Snickers bar.
A Snickers and a Pringle.
There you go. If a student qualifies for special education and is in self-contained resource, would he qualify for ESY?
So I'm going to just hold that question, Cindy. Resource is not self-contained. So resource is under the federal code 300.115. And what you guys know, the codes 300.115. Self-contained is a setting where a student has the ability to receive their entire instructional day. Okay? They have the ability to receive their entire instructional day. So never in resource would you be able to have music. Would you be able to have lunch? But resource is a setting with solely disabled children. But I just wanted to address that real quick. Tell me the question again, Cindy, because I like to hijack my own questions. And then people go, she didn't answer the question. She never answers the question. And yet here you are typing on my thread. How would you know that I never answer the question unless you're always here?
If a student qualifies for special education and is in self-contained resource, would he qualify for ESY?
So ESY has 2 prongs. Now the school's only going to talk about the 1 prong, right? If they have documented regression with a profound amount of time to recoup that skills on their IEP goals. That's not going to happen very often. But the second prong is concern for loss of critical skills. And we make those decisions based upon need. A lot of manipulation when it comes to ESY. We didn't used to do that, but now it's, oh, those are only kids that aren't potty trained. What? Those are only behavioral goals. Huh? So if your child has a need and we need ESY to maintain, ESY is for maintenance, then we consider that as a committee.
Hey, I have a son. First, IEP speech meeting because he has a speech delay. What should I ask for or request?
I would request a copy of the evaluation. I would request a full draft copy of his IEP, knowing that it's just a draft and all decisions are made in the meeting. But without that draft ahead of time, it's unlikely I'll be able to make an informed decision. We would have to reschedule.
Who is responsible for a student with autism where the where the student is consistently disrupting the kindergarten class?
So tell me the question again. I'm sorry. I was reading some. Let me just jump ahead. Oh, somebody just wrote, dang. I love the word dang, Angie. I wish I would have known about the second part last week in the IEP meeting. Listen, we can talk about ESY the day before school gets out. So you got plenty of time. So make sure that you do those 2 prongs. Go ahead, Cindy. I'm sorry.
Yes. Who is responsible for a student with autism where that autistic student is consistently disrupting the kindergarten class?
The school's responsible. So that teacher in the class needs to let leadership know that this currently is not a successful setting for him, which is fine. This is currently not a successful setting for him. So that is the onus, obligation, duty, and responsibility of your leadership to make sure that the students in their school are in the appropriate settings so that everybody can learn. When that doesn't happen, that's not the fault of the disabled child. It's not the fault of the other students, and it's not the fault of the teacher. It solely is the fault of the principals. It is.
Many people need the book now.
I know. And the reason that we're doing pre-order bonuses is because I know that you want the book now, but publishing, unlike my hairdo, takes longer than an hour. So we have been working on this book since, when it comes out, it'll be, am I good at math? 13 months. So it's been a very long pregnancy. There's 8,462 million steps. You like a good font, don't you? And we have the most amazing team. If you ever want to write a book, reach out to me. I'll connect you with our team. They were fantastic. But it'll be here before you know it, and it's going to change your life. It just is. It's so stinking good.
Can you make your book a PDF, please?
Can I make it a PDF? What does that mean?
If it's a PDF, you can send it now.
Oh, yeah. I don't think Simon and Schuster would appreciate me doing that, but just put your email in. I'll just email it to everybody. That'd be fine. Y'all wouldn't tell anybody, right? It'd be our secret. It would be our secrete.
I have a kindergarten student who is not toilet trained, and the mom is not training at home. What is the school's obligation? If
it occurs during the instructional day, we can teach around that. So what occurs during the instructional day? Academics, emotions, socialization, dressing, undressing, eating, hearing, seeing, walking, feeding, toileting. Yeah.
Are the parents able to decide which the child should have, for example, an IEP or a 504?
The team decides. This is a team decision. It's not a parent's decision. It's not a school decision. It's a team decision.
Is there ever a time when you think maybe it would be best for a family to homeschool if they have the ability to?
So I have never homeschooled. I don't know how to homeschool. When you're considering homeschooling, you have to think about an amazing, ridiculously high load that you would be carrying. Do you have the ability to instruct your child in state standards? And I don't know, maybe you do. Cindy probably could. Elena probably could. The other part for me that I'm really talking to parents about is I think the most important thing that we learn in school has nothing to do with academics. Nothing. Tell that to Pearson. I think the most important thing that we learn in school is the rub. And that's what life is going to be. It's going to be a rub. I'm going to have teachers that love me. I'm going to have a Miss Cindy. And then I'm going to have teachers that are like, sit down, right? I'm going to have kids that like me and kids that don't like me. I'm going to have things that are easy. I'm going to have things that are hard. I'm going to be picked. I'm not going to be picked. I'm going to belong. I'm not going to belong. Those pieces of school, you would be hard pressed to replicate in your living room. Can a mom or dad or your grandma teach you academics at home? Absolutely. I think that's very doable, especially with the curriculum that we have online. But those other pieces, I believe, are more paramount for kids with disabilities than the academics. But that is completely a personal decision. Obviously, we don't represent families that have kids that are homeschooled except for their annual IEP meetings to keep that current and their evaluations, but a very personal decision.
Here is our final question until our next session. Can a school hold a disciplinary hearing before a manifestation determination meeting?
Absolutely. So a hearing is when there's been an action by the student, whether you have a disability or not, and the school is going to talk about it. Hopefully it's required to be a write-up. We have all the components and input from people that were there, participated, didn't participate, have knowledge about it, and then when it's appropriate, give the student an opportunity to speak. And then I'm always going to ask very quickly for an MDR, manifestation determination resolution meeting, because if there is something going on, I don't want to wait till we're out of placement for 10 days or something else happens. I want to get on top of it. And Gina just said, what would you do if you got poked in the eye with a pencil? I'm a paraprofessional in a self-contained class. So I would see if we could mitigate that behavior if that was an accident. I think that God bless teachers. They come home kapowed all the time. But is it something that we can rectify in the setting that we're in? If it's not, then we need to have a different conversation around that. Remember, we get it right for the child. We get it right for everybody. You guys go get the Epic IEP. Just go get it. Go get it on Amazon. Come back to the epic-iep.com. Put in your information and we'll release $500 worth of pre-order. What are they called? Bonuses. Thank you. It's been a long day with only one pot of coffee. And I think part of those bonuses, Cindy, are a couple of the chapters. You get those. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my
Have you not ordered your book, Cindy?
Yes.
Did you not put your information in?
Yes.
Have you not?
Of them.
And did you get your bonuses?
I don't know. You want to know why?
She's been so busy, she hasn't checked for her bonuses. Yeah. So make sure that you get your bonuses at the epic-iep.com, because that puts you into a Facebook group. That puts you into, there's an interview that you're going to get. You're going to get a free ticket to the all-day Epic IEP Mastery Summit in February. And you're going to get a few chapters of the book. So definitely make sure that you go and get those. Because we don't want you to just order the book and not get your bonuses. We want you to have, you like bonuses, don't you?
I do.
I come from a long line of bonuses, right? And women, we're the best. We will order $800 worth of makeup to get one free brown lipstick that we'll never use. Because we love a bonus. You know what I do wish that y'all got? Like a little bitty one of my hairsprays. A little baby back comb. Yeah. How many of you guys, do people not use hairspray anymore? Am I the last person on the earth using hairspray? Sir, your hairspray looks phenomenal. Does anybody use hairspray? Put it in the comments. Who is using hairspray? Are you just letting your hair just go crazy at meetings? I saw a lady that was teaching, and if she ran her hand through her hair, which I can't do, you can get the book anywhere. And then the bonuses are at the epic-iep.com. Oh, somebody said I use light hold sometimes. Ma'am, people always wonder what's in my basket. So this hairspray was written for me. It's called Control. Yeah, so thank you. Look, Amy K. Look at those people using hairspray. Yeah, if you don't have this in your purse, what are you doing with your life? We go to DC a lot. We were supposed to go a few weeks ago, even had a meeting with Bernie Sanders and other leaders because we're trying to get IDA fully funded. And when we went the first time, we were at the Capitol. And by the way, the people that do security at the Capitol are smoking hot. Like, the men and women are like, rrr. I don't know if that's a legal word. I don't know if that's like in the dyslexic handbook. And so we're just going in. I'm like, hi. And I travel all the time, so I know about the 3 ounces and all that. And this guy pulls out my hairspray and he's like, what is this? I said, that's Sebastian hairspray. And he goes, you can't take it in. I said, I can. It's 3 ounces. He goes, you cannot take aerosols into any building at the Capitol or the White House or the Senate buildings. And I didn't want to rough him up because there's cameras. So my friend stood there with my hairspray while I went in, which means I can never run for president. I can never run for Congress. I can never run for Senate. Like, aerosol hairspray, it's non-negotiable. I would have to switch to the white rain pump like I did in the 80s. So remember, go, because they have cameras, yeah. Go get the book. Just go get the book. You need the book. Get the book for somebody that you love. Get the book for somebody that you want to hit in the head. Get the book for a principal that needs it. And get the book. So Cindy, should they get the book? So we love you guys. If you need something, let us know. Advocate at specialeducationacademy.com, and we'll see you guys in the next training. Hit subscribe, share this with a friend, and you know what? Meet me back here every single week. We're not just talking about change, we're making it. Because when you know better, you do better. And when we get it right for the child, we get it right for everybody.